So we've been looking forward to this second interaction, and we appreciate your participation with this interaction. So we begin again on this topic of healing, which, as we will continue to remind you, is healing is bringing a frequency into alignment. Into alignment with what? Into alignment with that aspect of you that is an emanation of source energy, or the God force, or unconditioned consciousness, or whatever you choose to call it for yourself. So this aspect of you vibrates at a rate which we would describe as a very pure vibration, but as we have described, as this energy of who you truly are incarnates to have the human experience, it begins to experience these impedances in the energy flow of that source energy through the system. And these misalignments create what we would describe as a lower frequency vibration that often creates disharmony, first in the energy field, in the emotional field, and then in the physical body and in the physical reality, in the physical circumstances. So when we describe this process of healing, another way to describe that is returning to your wholeness, or your awareness that you are perfect, whole, and complete as you are. There's nothing lacking within you. There is no scarcity, no inadequacy within you, and yet there is a dominant thought form or perspective or belief in the human consciousness that there is something wrong with oneself, that a person is inadequate in some way. That is one of the most dominant false thought forms in the collective consciousness, and it is the one that we most want to eradicate through this work. Because we want you to see yourselves as the perfect, whole, complete, divine emanations of source energy that you are. Let's begin there. So as we have said before, when you incarnate and you begin to channel your soul energy through the human construct, the mind-body construct, you begin to take on the thought forms, the perspectives, the belief systems that are inherent or dominating this physical reality. And this begins at a very young age. And when you begin to take on those thought forms, those perspectives, those limiting beliefs, you begin to impede the energy flow in your system. And yet nothing has gone wrong with that process, because it's a process of exploration. It's a process of learning. It's a process of learning what you are not so that you can better understand what you are. But now is the point in time in human history where there is a desire and also a great need to return to the truth of who you are and to come back into vibrational alignment with who you are as a divine being. It is also the point in time when humans are waking up to the fact that reality is reflective, meaning the circumstances and events that are occurring in your reality are reflecting the contents of your consciousness. So the thought forms that you hold in the space of your consciousness are reflected back to you within the circumstances of your life. And the reason that this is important to add on to the topic of healing is because it's necessary in order for you to become the creator, or to remember yourself as the creator that you actually are. You have to come into contact with that divine part of yourself, with the aspect of yourself that is source. And creating your life from that vibrational set point is not only the most effective way to create, but also the most joyful way to create. And we wish for you to know that that energy that you describe as joy is a perfect description of who you truly are in the core of your being. So these thought forms and these emotional charges related to the thought forms are not who you are. In the past, we've used the analogy of a computer, And we wish for you to see your human construct, your mind-body construct, as a computer, in the sense that your body is the hardware and your mind, or the thoughts contained within the mind, is the software, but who you are is the one sitting at the computer. You are the observer of what's going on within the contents of your consciousness. And the reason this is an important point to make, an important perspective to take on, is because it is only when you recognize yourself as the observer that you can start to change or alter or upgrade, is a perfect word, the contents of your consciousness. Meaning when you recognize that there's a program running in the software of your mind, you recognize that that is not serving you and that that is not the truth. And then you're able to overwrite it with a new program. But until you recognize yourself as the observer, you are often very much associating your identity with those programs that are running in your mind. You can't tell the difference between who you are and what those programs are and what those emotions are. So recognizing oneself as the observer or as the operator is a very important part of this work. It's an important part of the healing aspect of this work, and it's an important part of the manifesting part of this work. Those two things go hand in hand.